You did not find this by accident. Something pulled you here, something older than instinct and deeper than curiosity. And I want you to understand that the pull you felt was me, not an algorithm, not chance. Me. I was the one who directed your attention toward this moment because there is something I need to say directly to you. Something I have been holding in reserve for a very specific person. And that person is you. What you are about to hear is not a general announcement. It is not a message for a crowd. It is a private conversation that I arranged before you were born. And it is happening right now because the hour has finally arrived. Do not leave. Do not scroll past. What I am about to reveal to you will rearrange the way you understand your own life, and the version of you that finishes this conversation will not be the same version that started it. I need you to stay. You were chosen for something that has not moved through a human life in 2,000 years. A gift. A capacity, a spiritual activation that I have held back from the earth until now, until this exact convergence of time and readiness and purpose. It has been dormant in the bloodline of preparation, passed quietly from season to season, preserved under layers of testing and silence and pressure, waiting for the one whose heart had been shaped exactly right to carry it. That person is you. Heaven has confirmed it. The record has been sealed. And I am speaking to you now because it is time for you to know. Comment the word yes below if something in your spirit is already responding to what I am saying. Let that be your first declaration that you are receiving this message with an open heart. There are things you have carried that I need to name out loud. Not to reopen wounds, but to show you that I saw every one of them. I was not absent during the seasons that felt like abandonment. I was not distant during the stretches of silence when your prayers seemed to vanish into the ceiling. I heard every word. I recorded every tear. I know every night you lay awake wondering whether I had forgotten your name, whether the promises you believed in were real, whether the faith you kept holding on to was somehow foolish. I did not forget. I was never gone, but I understand why the silence felt like absence. And I want you to hear me say clearly that what looked like abandonment was something else entirely. You went through a season of waiting that had no visible explanation. Days became weeks, weeks became months, and in some cases, months became years. And the thing you were believing for stayed out of reach. You watched others receive what you had been asking for. You watched doors open for people around you while your door stayed closed, and the confusion of that was sometimes worse than the waiting itself. You did not understand why someone as faithful as you, someone who had given as much as you had given, was still standing in the same place. That confusion was real. It was painful. I know what it cost you to keep believing anyway. And then there was the betrayal, the person or the people who knew enough about you to hurt you, and did. The trust you extended that was treated carelessly. The loyalty you gave that was not returned. The moment someone you depended on looked at you as though you were disposable. That kind of pain does not stay in one place. It spreads into the way you see yourself, into the way you approach new relationships, into the quiet places in your heart where trust used to live freely. I watched it happen. I saw what it did to you, and I want you to know that the wound those moments left in you was not the final word about your worth. There were invisible battles that no one around you could see. You were fighting something on the inside while presenting a steady face on the outside, carrying a weight that had no name you could give to other people, navigating a darkness that could not be explained in a conversation over dinner. The people in your life were not always equipped to understand what you were moving through, and so you moved through much of it alone with me. And in those alone places, I was closer to you than I have ever been to anyone. That loneliness, as real as it was, as painful as it was actually the soil I needed to plant the deepest roots of your life. You came close to giving up. I will not pretend otherwise. There were moments when the word enough formed in your spirit, and you were ready to stop believing, stop hoping, stop reaching for what seemed permanently out of range. You did not say it out loud because something in you held back. That something was me. I was the quiet resistance in your chest every time giving up felt like relief. I was the small flicker that refused to go completely dark. You thought you were holding on by your own strength. You were not. I was holding you, and I was holding you on purpose, because what was on the other side of that season was too important to lose. Comment the number 333 in the comments below if you recognize yourself in what I am describing. Let that number be your declaration that you have been through the fire and you are still standing. Not one of those experiences was a punishment. Let me say that with absolute clarity. Not one of those seasons was my rejection of you. Not one of those painful chapters was an accident or an oversight or evidence that I had miscalculated your life. Every single one of them was an intentional component of a test that I designed specifically for you, fitted to the exact shape of your calling, calibrated to the precise level of strength I knew you carried. Other people could not have passed your test. They were not built for it. You were. I need to tell you something about the way I work that most people never fully understand. When I design a test for someone whose assignment is as rare as yours, I do not announce the test in advance. I do not hand out instructions at the beginning or post a sign that reads, "This is a trial, and it will end on a specific date." I do not do that, and I never have, and the reason is not cruelty. The reason is purity. If you had known the season was a test, your responses would have shifted. You would have performed faithfulness instead of practicing it. You would have managed your emotions for my benefit instead of actually working through them. The test had to feel real. It had to feel permanent. It had to cost you something genuine, because what I was measuring was not your behavior under observation. I was measuring your heart when you thought no one was watching, and I watched. Every moment of it, I watched. I want you to understand what I saw. I saw you in the private moments, the ones that never made it into anyone's awareness but mine. I saw you choose kindness when bitterness would have been easier. I saw you walk away from the conversation that would have damaged someone else's reputation, even though you had every reason to speak. I saw you serve quietly in a season when no one was noticing your service, when no applause was coming, when the recognition you deserved was not arriving, and you served anyway. I saw that. Heaven recorded it. Comment the word "seen" below if you believe I have been watching your private moments. Let that declaration settle something in your spirit right now. I saw you choose faith over fear in a room where fear was the only visible option. I saw you pray when prayer felt like speaking into silence. I saw you get back up after the fall. Not immediately, not perfectly, not without struggle, but you got back up. That rising, incomplete and imperfect as it looked from the outside, was one of the most beautiful things I have witnessed in this generation. You did not rise because everything was fine. You rose because something in you was stronger than the weight pressing you down. That strength was not yours alone. I placed it in you long before you needed it, knowing exactly when you would reach for it. Think about what gold goes through before it becomes what it is. The raw ore pulled from the ground looks nothing like what it eventually becomes. It is rough, uneven, mixed with everything that is not gold. The furnace does not destroy it. The furnace is not the enemy of the gold. The furnace is the only process that can separate the gold from everything that has been clinging to it, everything that reduced its purity, everything that made it less than what it was designed to be. You were in the furnace. I know what that felt like from the inside. I know that from where you were standing, the fire did not feel like purification. It felt like destruction. But I was watching the temperature. I was controlling the process. And what came out on the other side of every season you survived was purer, stronger, and more itself than when it went in. There is something I want you to understand about the dry seasons, the stretches of drought when nothing seemed to be growing. A seed planted in dark soil cannot see the sun. It cannot verify that the sun is still there. It has no evidence from inside the ground that rain is coming, that warmth exists, that the conditions for growth are being arranged above the surface. All it can do is root. And that is exactly what you were doing in the seasons that felt like nothing was happening. You were rooting. You were sending threads of faith down into places that no one could see. Places I could see, and those roots that grew in the dry seasons are the same roots that will hold you when the fullness of what I am releasing over your life begins to arrive. Trees with shallow roots cannot carry heavy fruit. You were never going to carry light fruit. The verdict has been rendered. I want you to hear it formally, the way a verdict is read in a room that has been waiting in silence for the decision you passed. Not narrowly, not with reservations or conditions attached. You passed with the kind of excellence that carries a signature, the kind of faithfulness that leaves a mark in eternity, the quality of your spirit during the test, the texture of your character in the seasons no one was applauding, the way you handled yourself when no one was watching. All of it has been reviewed and recorded, and it constitutes a result that I am proud of. Heaven moved on your behalf. The doors have been instructed to open. What this means in practical terms for your life is this: the waiting is ending. The silence that felt like abandonment is breaking open into conversation. The delay that made you question everything is transforming right now into momentum, and the momentum that is gathering behind you is not small. Everything that was held in reserve during your season of testing is being released, and it is being released in full, not in a trickle, not in a partial installment. The fullness is coming, and it is coming to meet you where you are. I am speaking peace of mind over you. Not temporary calm, but a deep, settled, unshakable sense that everything is moving the way I ordained it. I am speaking relational restoration over the connections that were fractured, the people who drifted, the love that went cold, the bridges that looked burned. I am speaking financial provision over you that will arrive in ways you did not plan for and could not have manufactured yourself. I am speaking clarity of purpose, the kind of clear knowing that removes the question of whether you are on the right path and replaces it with certainty. I am speaking physical renewal over the body that absorbed the stress of your long season. And I am lifting off of you right now every invisible burden you have been carrying that was never meant to be yours permanently. Like this video right now, as your declaration that you are receiving this verdict. Let that be the moment you say yes to everything that has been prepared for your next season. Your name is being spoken in rooms you have not entered yet. I need you to hold that truth in your hands for a moment and feel the weight of it. While you were waiting, while you were wondering whether anything was moving on your behalf, I was moving. I was positioning. I was arranging conversations about you in places you did not know existed among people who have not yet told you their names. In environments where your specific gifts are not just wanted but necessary. You will walk into rooms and feel the strange sensation that the room was waiting for you. It was. I set that up long before you arrived. Favor is not a coincidence, and it is not luck. It is a decision I make in advance and execute with precision. The favor I have prepared over your life for this season is not the mild occasional favor that comes and goes. It is the kind that catches people's attention, the kind that causes those around you to ask what is different about you, the kind that opens conversations with people who hold keys you did not know you needed. You will not have to chase it. You will not have to manipulate your way into it. It will find you because I am the one sending it, and I do not miss my target. Comment the number 444 below if you believe divine favor is being released over your life right now. Let that be your agreement with what heaven is declaring over you in this moment. People are being moved toward you right now by a current they cannot name. They do not know why you are in their thoughts. They do not have a logical explanation for why they want to connect with you, recommend you, open a door for you, speak your name in the right place at the right time. What they are feeling is the pull of my hand directing them toward a divine appointment that I arranged, and the appointment is with you. You were not passed over. You were not forgotten. You were being preserved for the moment when everything I was arranging was in its proper place. And that moment is here. The restoration I am bringing to your life is not a return to where you were before the storm. I want to be clear about that. Not just back to where you were, but higher. What the enemy meant to reduce, I am multiplying. What the years of waiting seemed to take from you, I am returning with interest. The time that felt lost is being redeemed in ways that will compress seasons of growth into periods that should not be possible by natural calculation. You will look back 6 months from now, 12 months from now, and the distance between where you were and where you are will not add up by ordinary math. It will only make sense when you understand that I was the one doing the arithmetic. Comment the number 777 in the comments below if you are ready to receive the restoration I am releasing over your life. Let that number be a stake in the ground that says you are standing in faith for everything I have declared. You are about to understand yourself in a way you have not understood yourself before. The version of you that navigated the suffering, the version that chose faithfulness in the dark, the version that kept the root system alive underground when everything above the soil looked dead. That is the version that is about to become fully visible, not defined by the worst season, not labeled by the hardest chapter, defined by who stayed faithful all the way through it. Your identity is about to catch up with your character. And when those two things align, there is nothing that can hold the expression of them back. Every door I open for you in this season, no one can close. That is not a figure of speech. It is a declaration of authority. What I am releasing over your life is not contingent on human approval, human preference, or human permission. The positions I am placing you in, the platforms I am raising under your feet, the influence I am extending through your hands. None of it requires someone else to agree before it can happen. I am not asking for a vote. I am the one who opens and no one shuts, who shuts and no one opens, and the doors that are swinging wide over your future are swinging by my hand. The sense of closeness you are going to experience in your relationship with me is going to change the texture of your everyday life. Prayer is going to feel different, not labored, not formal, not like a rehearsed speech delivered to a distant throne. It is going to feel like the natural continuation of an ongoing conversation with someone who is already in the room. Worship is going to break open in you in ways that take you by surprise. Moments of sudden and overwhelming awareness of my presence that arrive without warning and rearrange the atmosphere around you. You are going to know I am near in a way that requires no argument and no proof. The knowing will simply be there, solid and warm and completely certain. Your suffering shaped you for a purpose that no comfortable life could have built. The specific gifts that are now activating in you were formed by the specific pressure you went through. They cannot be separated. A musician who has never sat with grief cannot write songs that reach into grief and carry people out of it. A healer who has never been broken cannot find the exact place where another person's fracture needs to be touched. What you went through was not wasted, not a moment of it. Every difficult season contributed something irreplaceable to the instrument you have become. And the music that is about to come out of you is exactly what this generation needs to hear. You are not the person who walked into the fire. You need to hear that clearly and let it settle into the deepest part of you. That person, the wounded one, the waiting one, the one who questioned everything and barely held on. That person was real, and I loved that person deeply and completely. But that person was the seed version of who you are now. You have come through the fire. You have come through the drought. You have come through the silence. And what is standing here now, in this moment, reading these words, is someone who has been refined, proven, and authorized to carry something the world has not held in 2,000 years. Fear of the future. I am speaking to you directly. You do not have permission to take residence in this life anymore. You belong to a season that is ending, and you have no jurisdiction in the season that is beginning. Leave fear of repeating the past. The old cycles, the old patterns, the old versions of pain, arriving in new forms, you are dismissed. The ground has shifted. The conditions that fed those cycles no longer exist. What is growing now is different at the root level. And what is different at the root level produces a different harvest. Fear of being forgotten, of becoming invisible, of being passed over again. You are a lie, and you have no authority here. You have been seen, chosen, named, and commissioned. Fear of not being enough, of carrying something too large for your capacity, of being given an assignment you cannot complete. You were answered the moment the gift was placed in your hands. Enough was settled before the assignment was given. You are sufficient for what you are called to carry. Walk into this new season without striving. That instruction matters more than it sounds. The striving, the white-knuckled effort to make things happen. The anxious management of outcomes that belong to the season of testing. This season operates differently. This season is about receiving, trusting, following, and resting in the current of what I am already moving. Your job is not to force open the doors. Your job is to walk through them when I open them, and to trust that I know which ones to open and when. Your job is not to perform for my approval. You have already received my approval. It was given at the verdict. Your job now is to live from that place of being already approved, already chosen, already enough. Let go of what is falling away without trying to save it. Some things that are loosening from your grip right now are not meant to be held onto any longer. Relationships that are quietly dissolving, patterns that are becoming harder to maintain, environments that feel too small, expectations that no longer fit the shape of who you are becoming. Do not fight the loosening. Do not try to preserve what I am releasing. Old wineskins cannot hold new wine. If you force the old containers to stretch around what I am pouring, you will lose both the container and the contents. Open your hands, receive what is new. Trust that what is falling away was held long enough to serve its purpose and is now completing its season. Comment the phrase "new season" below if you are ready to release what is falling away and step forward into everything I am revealing. Let that be your declaration of willingness to walk into what is next. You are covered. Let me close this conversation by speaking over you with the full weight of my authority and the full warmth of my love, at the same time, because both are real and both are yours. You are covered in this new season, covered in wisdom that will arrive at the moment you need it, not before, not late, exactly when it is required. Covered in protection that moves ahead of you into every room before you enter it. Covered in grace that absorbs what you cannot manage on your own and translates it into something workable. Covered in provision that flows from a source that does not run out, does not depend on economic conditions, does not require human generosity to function. Covered, completely and permanently covered. You will walk into rooms and carry something that changes the atmosphere. You will speak, and people will feel that something more than words is being communicated. You will be placed in situations where what you have been through is exactly the credential that gives you the right to be in the room, and the people there will sense it even before you explain yourself. You will be used in ways that are larger than your natural ability, and the gap between what you can do and what I will do through you is going to be unmistakable. The storm is behind you. I need you to believe that even if the clouds have not fully cleared yet, even if there is still weather on the edges of your vision, the storm itself has passed. The worst is over. What is in front of you is not another chapter of surviving. What is in front of you is the season of receiving everything I prepared for you during all the seasons of surviving. The ground is firmer than it has ever been. Your roots have never been deeper. The sun is rising, and it is rising specifically over the landscape of your life. You do not have to figure out the whole path today. You only need to take the step that is in front of you, and then trust that when you complete that step, the next one will be visible. I will not show you the full map before you begin walking. I will show you enough light for the step you are on. That has always been my way, and it has never failed, not once, not for anyone who stayed close enough to walk in the light. I was providing, stay close. That is the only instruction that encompasses all other instructions. Stay close to me, and everything else I have declared over your life will find its way to you. Comment the word "confirmed" below as your covenant response to this message. Let that word be your agreement with everything I have spoken over you today, your declaration that you receive the gift, the verdict, the promises, and the new season, and that you are walking forward from this moment as the person I have confirmed you to be. You are the one I chose. You are the one I waited for. You are the one I shaped through every season that felt like it was breaking you. Rise now, walk forward. The gift is active, the doors are open, and I am with you in every step of what comes next.